Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Moloy Chakravorty, and I'm the founder of Beyond Red Ocean Consulting. And like every Wednesday, we are back with celebrating one more entrepreneur's journey. Today is Guru Purnima, a very special day for all of us. And today I have a very, very special person, somebody we have looked up to all the time. Since I live in Mumbai and I've lived my entire life in Mumbai, whenever I travel to Kolkata, people used to tell me, 𝗂𝘂𝗍 ka Rasgulla leke aana pakka when you come. We have grown up eating the sweets of the savories and the sweets of 𝗂𝘂𝗍. We have known the celebrities of Kolkata going and queuing up late at night outside the 𝗂𝘂𝗍 store just to enjoy the sweetness of 𝗂𝘂𝗍. And today I have the man himself, Mr. Dhiman Das, Executive Director, 𝗂𝘂𝗍. Mr. Das, namaskar, and a very, very warm welcome.
Namaskar to you and namaskar to everyone who is watching us, whoever is watching us today. And today is a very auspicious day. It's Guru Purnima, and I would like to convey my regards and my pranams to all my seniors, my elders who I've looked upon as my gurus. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
No, Dada, this is an honor for us because we always wanted somebody of your stature to come and bless the not only everybody but especially the entrepreneurial community in West Bengal and around India and overseas. Yes, my pranam to everybody who has helped me to become what I am today and who has helped us become what I am today. But today it's not about us. Today it's about Mr. Das. And Dhimanda, if I can call you Dhimanda.
Yeah, please, sure.
I want to break this up into two parts. I want to first understand the journey of 𝗂𝘂𝗍, and this is for the vast millions of people who want to know where it all started and how did you get involved and what are the challenges. But the second part, the last 10 minutes or so, I want you to give us some inputs that businesses will have challenges. How do people overcome those challenges? So I want to come to that at the second phase, but first let's start off with the journey. Give us some history of 𝗂𝘂𝗍.
See, our legacy started way back in, say, 1864 with my ancestor, the father of 𝗂𝘂𝗍, 𝗂𝗵 Chandra Das, who everyone knows is the inventor of Rossogolla. So in 1868, he invented the Rossogolla. And thereafter, his only shop was in Bagh Bazaar. And now it's our ancestral home there. And it's known as Rossogolla Bhavan.
Okay.
And in fact, 𝗂𝘂𝗍 was a man of a very scientific bent of mind. So he was not that inclined into business, and he was more into academics. And he had done a 2-year course of medicine in 𝗷𝘂𝗿𝗀 School of Medicine.
Okay.
And he had also done a course in homeopathy, and he used to treat patients then. And he also had this urge, like his father, to always invent or innovate something new. He had made musical records, which were in those days made of what do you call in Bengali we used to say gala record.
Okay.
The 78 RPM records.
78 RPM
he had made
records,
it in wax records.
Okay.
Records in wax. He had done some innovation work in Meenakari work of jewelry also.
Okay.
Yeah. And he first thought that the main challenge which we still face in Bengali sweets is a very short shelf life. perishability.
Perishability.
So, and Rasgulla
Mm.
was the highest perishable product amongst the all Bengali sweets. In summers, it would last only for say 7 to 8 hours.
Okay.
In say in loose conditions.
Right.
If it's sold loose in counters. So he then thought of something how it could be preserved and packed, and it can be transported not only within Bengal but outside Bengal also.
Okay.
And it was, I think, around late 1920s when he first thought of this. And during the World War time, canned food used to come from Britain in those days.
Right.
And he got the idea from there that if fruits and other food can be canned and preserved, why not Rasgulla? So his youngest son was 𝗓𝘂𝗍 who was then the research assistant in Rajabaja Science College in the physics department when Sir C.V. Raman was there.
Okay.
So he basically took the help of his youngest son, and he requested him to leave his job and start a new business with him with the canning of Rasgullas.
Okay.
So both of them experimented this art of canning, and basically without any preservatives, Rasgulla was the first Indian dessert to be canned in 1930.
In 1930?
And, yeah, in 1930. Wow. And they, to promote the canned Rasgulla, they set up a shop in the name of Krishna Chandra confectioners in 𝗗𝘂𝗍.
Okay.
It's just beside the Lohia Hospital in 𝗗𝘂𝗍, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, and from there, a new journey of Rasgulla started. Already Rasgulla was already popular as 𝗏𝑔𝑏𝗺𝗺 Rasgulla. And there was rhyme in those days very popular that 𝗏𝑔𝑏𝗺𝗺 𝗵𝗵𝗏 Rasgullaর Columbus. Means 𝗵𝗵𝗏 of Bagbazar is the Columbus of Rasgulla. It was very popular already in those days, and with the canning of Rasgulla, now people could carry it outside, and the shelf life was around say 6 months. And thereafter, in 1932, again, it was the first innovation of Rasgulla. It was Rossomalai. You can now find the paper cutting of the ad. Sometimes it has gone viral in the what you call WhatsApp groups. You can find it. It was in 1932. Where the Rossomalai was, for many people doesn't know, the Rossomalai was also invented by Krishna Chandra.
I did not
know. Thereafter,
sorry, I did not know. I thought Rossomalai was a very modern
North Indian.
Yeah, North Indian. Absolutely.
Because it was very popular amongst the North Indians and non-Bengalis.
Right.
And still is. And still is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is how Krishna Chandra confection has started. And unfortunately, Krishna Chandra died in 1934. Thereafter, 𝗓𝘂𝗍 was the only the family member who pulled the entire reins of the business, and he started a shop in Esplanade Crossing in 1935. And in those days, Britishers would be noticed more in that area than Indians.
Okay.
That is why the name was first shortened to 𝗂𝘂𝗍𝗃. And it was the first shop first Indian-confectionery shop, which had waiters serving the customers, and he introduced first cake boxes, because prior to that, sweets were packed in palm leaf,
Yes.
dried palm leaf,
Yes.
packaging.
Yes.
So there were some pioneering efforts from the father and the son.
Huge pioneering efforts. And I can assure you, I did not know this story, and a lot of people of my generation, who are especially outside of West Bengal, do not know the story of 𝗂𝘂𝗍 𝗏. And thank you so much for enlightening us with the history of 𝗂𝘂𝗍 𝗏.
My pleasure.
So, when did you start getting involved in the business?
See, actually, like in every art form or in music, mainly in Indian classical music, they have a gharana. So basically from the birth, we are into it, and we cannot exactly specify a date from when we started.
Sure.
We have been visiting the factories, and I still remember we used to, in my childhood, I was almost say 5-6 years old, when the first Kolkata book fair, Calcutta book fair, in fact, started. It used to take place just opposite Rabindra Sadan, I think. And we used to have set up our stalls. Right. And I still remember cutting coupons and giving it to customers, and it was very exciting for me in those days, in childhood. And later, when I was nearly 14 years of age, my father started an outlet in the name of 𝗵𝘂𝗍 𝗏, because this 𝗵𝘂𝗍 𝗏 shop was closed down in 1965 because of an order passed by the state government, West Bengal state government at that time, due to shortage of milk. All sweet shops in Kolkata were shut down in just a day's notice.
Okay.
In 1965. So 𝗵𝘂𝗍 shop also was closed down, and thereafter it did not open in that location.
Okay.
It was rented out to a bank, and so to keep the memory of 𝗵𝘂𝗍 𝗏 alive, my father started this shop in 1986. So I would say officially or professionally, I started my career at the age of 14 in 1986.
Wow, amazing. But since then, business has changed.
Right.
With all due respects to everybody, I think the Bengali sweets has been copied by a lot of other players, and they have grown much bigger, right? In the midst of all that, you had the COVID crisis, where people would not be able to go, and the curfews and other stuff, the lockdowns, people were not able to go to those sweet shops and get things. What are some of the challenges that you have faced in this journey that you have had since you started off at the age of 14 and now?
See, as I just said, that I would say that a major challenge which we faced, I was not born although at that time, in 1965, the shops were closed for 2 years. So 1965 to 1967.
Right.
So that was a much more challenge which our family had faced. And I had heard a lot of, problems which had to be tackled at that time.
Right.
But in that way, COVID did not sustain for that long.
Right.
But still, it was a great blow, and still we are facing it. Because in Calcutta or West Bengal, the blow was much more than in other states.
Yes.
I think in not only in sweet bean business, but in the entire all sorts of
Yeah, hotel hospitality has been very bad.
Everything.
Yeah.
I think it was down by more than 70%.
Sure.
And still we are, I think, our turnover, the original turnover which was there pre-COVID, is down by, say, 40% still now, 40 to 50, 45%.
Okay. But apart from the COVID, Dhimanda, there has been other challenges that has also come in. The multiple other Bengali sweet shops that have come in, the other big chains of food that have come in. How have you been able to manage to retain the 𝗂𝘂𝗍𝗃 brand in spite of all that has happened in the external, COVID aside? The competition, people taste changing, fast foods, and the ice creams and the other confectioneries that have come in, cakes, for example, right? So there's a lot of things that have changed. So how have you managed to hold on to this business?
See, actually, as far as our concern is basically concerned, our company.
Yes.
The customers come to us mainly for traditional sweets.
Right.
So that way, even if cakes, pastries, and fusion items, fusion sweets, I think they have also come up. But as far as Rasgulla is concerned, it hasn't changed much.
Right.
It hasn't changed much. Apart from this COVID, I would always, that was a blow. But if you say challenges from other food products, that way, I think we haven't faced that much of a challenge.
Okay.
But obviously, there are other challenges like quality of milk is there.
Right.
Power problem was very much there before.
Right.
But now it's thank God it's quite fine. And now the prices of LPG and we use furnace oil for our boiler. I think we are the only concern who are using steam boilers in the vicinity of Kolkata.
Okay.
So it's a huge challenge now, basically sustaining the business.
Absolutely.
But we are finding ways and means to change the media of producing the steam.
Right. Right. So one you said was the quality of milk, one of the challenges. Then how do you ensure that the quality is maintained? Because the people who are making the moiras, for example, they keep on changing. So how do you maintain the consistency? Because yours is such a, you eat a Rasgulla, you know whether it is the one, the thing that you really wanted. How do you maintain this consistency of quality?
No, actually, we have totally as what do you call the recipe? We have totally a guideline which we follow, and it's not about the cooks or the moiras as you said.
Yes.
Although they are with us since generations, that is a boon for us, and they keep on. The next generation comes and joins us, and they know that 𝗂𝘂𝗍𝗃 culture, there's a form of production method that we follow, which is totally different from others.
Okay.
So any other cook or moira will feel slightly difficult to come and work in our atmosphere because of the stringent health and hygiene that we maintain. And about the quality, as you were saying, we have a proper microbiological laboratory with microbiologists who, as soon as the milk enters, we test the milk of its parameters, and that way milk sometimes very not very frequently sometimes it gets rejected. And also the milk suppliers are, I think they're supplying for generations to us.
So they also know what you want.
Yeah, it's that way. It's not a problem for us.
Not a problem. Dhiman, I just want you to now want to take you slightly outside of 𝗂𝘶 𝗏𝘃. You have been in the forefront in the revival, if I can use the word, and the mass communication of this entire Bengali Mishti Dokan kind of thing, right? The Bengali Mishti. You're having programs around Kolkata. You're talking in other forum about the Bengali Mishti, which according to me as an outsider, maybe it has slightly fallen back compared to the other large brands that have come in. What is your take? What is it that drives you into this?
Yeah, I think it's a responsibility for me. Say I'm the 5th generation.
Right.
Now. So it's not only about 𝗂𝘶 𝗏𝘃 now. We have formed an association of all Mishti entrepreneurs, Mishti Udyog, that was formed in the lockdown.
Yes.
And there are very, very energetic new entrepreneurs, very young, working with me, and we are like brothers. And they sincerely want something to be done. And I have basically showed them by taking them outside Bengal, attending other mithai and namkeen, basically,
yes,
what they say around India.
Yes.
Mithai and namkeen exhibitions, and how they work, how other parts of India have already progressed,
Yes.
and where we are lagging behind. So
Right.
they have come to know now, and we had our first seminar last year in ITC, Royal Bengal.
Right.
And basically it was, many people were astonished that how can Moiras have seminars, that too in 5-star hotels?
Yes.
Many brands, huge brands, non-Bengali brands, even without getting invitations, the owners just dropped in to see what's happening suddenly.
Right.
In the Bengali sweetmeat business industry.
Right.
And anyway, this year also, on 13th and 14th of August, we are also planning a proper seminar with proper technical sessions to see how we can take the Bengali sweetmeat business ahead and increase the shelf life and make it more acceptable globally. Rather, it's accepted globally, but it's not available.
Yes.
So availability is the main thing.
The perishability is, I think, stopping the availability.
Has to be arrested somehow.
Correct.
With modern packaging has come.
Yes.
So that way, in fact, government of West Bengal is helping us a lot.
Right.
Our Honorable Chief Minister, Ms. 𝗂𝗵𝗶 𝗏𝗃𝗫 personally had called me and asked, just tell us what we can do for you, and she's doing a lot for us. Sure. They have been constantly connecting with us, and in fact with the GI of Rasgulla, I think there has been a huge change in the entire sweetmeat business. Now everyone is interested in GI, and they have become more quality conscious. And the Department of Science and Technology of Government of West Bengal, they are working very hard with us. Dr. Mahua Chaudhary is the nodal officer there.
Right.
She is helping us a lot. So I think that way we are progressing.
Ladies and gentlemen, you would now know why Dhimanda is the special guest of honor today. He forgets competition and he brings all his competitors onto the same platform because he has a larger vision of the Bengali Mishti, the Bengali Mishti to go global. Technology, perishability, government support, he looks at everything. And that's why we truly call him the guru And that's why we have Mr. Dhiman Das today on this Guru Purnima, giving us all these advices. But Dhiman, I hope you have 5 more minutes for me, because there's so much to talk to you about. Is investment and technology going to be a challenge into expansion of the Bengali Mishti? Because again, you don't have lack of customers. I think the availability, like you rightly said, is the challenge. So do you think investments and technology and the Bengali Mishti owner is ready for that?
No, actually, we have to change our minds. We have to be more open. And there are investors. I know personally there are many investors. There are Bengali investors. There are NRIs who want to invest into the street meat business. But we, our outlook has to be a little bit open. We have to accept them. We have to learn to share our profits, and that way we will grow. First of all, we have to learn to give.
Correct.
Then only we can gain. That way, our the traditional mindset has to change.
Correct.
Then only we can go, because there is I don't think there is dearth of investors.
There's no dearth of customers also.
Yeah, yes, because if you can make your products appealing and attractive with proper packaging, you can see the others how they are growing. And I think quality-wise, any Khoa sweet or Kheer sweet is, I think Chena sweets are much more tastier and acceptable rather than Khoa sweets. We have been doing business in Bangalore since the past 50 years. This is our 50th year in Bangalore. And we know how Bengali sweets are accepted amongst South Indians and all basically all non-Bengalis. We have more non-Bengali customers than Bengalis.
Absolutely, completely agree. And I know when people come to my house in Bombay, people say that, okay, where is your Roshogolla? We want that Roshogolla, and it's over like hotcakes. I would want to bring you back to the 𝗂𝗍 story, right, Dhimanda? What next for 𝗂𝗍? It has become a brand. It is synonymous to Bengalis all over the world. You have been in the forefront. So what next for 𝗂𝗍 in terms of expansion, in terms of product development, in terms of, are you looking at things like the packaged foods, not the mishtis, but something of the non-perishables kind of thing?
Exactly, which I was talking on a larger scale now.
Right.
That is what I've been trying to do in our own concern also.
Right.
We are working on packaging. This is the modern technology of packaging has come up, known as MAP, which is very, very expensive, although the machinery is very expensive. And we are trying to develop and adapt our Bengali sweets and package in that form, so that it can be available in not only in our stores, but in departmental stores and everywhere.
Right.
And in what do you call unit packing. Like now, if you want to buy a Rasgulla, you have to buy a tin containing, say, either 10 pieces or 20 pieces. Right. So, like, it can come in smaller packaging, say 2 pieces, or even 1 piece, where mothers can put the sweet into the tiffin boxes of children.
Right.
That way, it can be much more acceptable.
Correct. And also with, I think, the nuclear families, the quantum of consumption probably would come down.
Exactly.
So smaller packet sizes.
Exactly.
So I know when we have Bhai-Phota, so there is one Rasgulla that needs to be kept. So probably a unit package would be a great model for that.
Exactly.
So Dhimanda, this can go on and on. We have so much to talk about, but there is a time constraint. I just want to have one last question of you, and that is, you have been a visionary. I've met you multiple times. You have been a visionary. You have probably, ladies and gentlemen, for Dhimanda, I think we should all salute his mindset, that he is ready to change mindset. He doesn't think about competition. He's thinking about technology. He's thinking about customers. He's thinking about investments, which not too many Bengali business owners actually are comfortable with, this investment model. But Dhimanda, you have been thinking about it. Now, my last question of you is, what is your vision for 𝗂𝗂𝗍? Where do we as people of this generation and next generation see 𝗂𝗂𝗍 in next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? What is your vision?
See, actually, being perishable, still we are dealing with highly perishable items, and we cannot, as of now, we cannot transport our products throughout the country. Right. So I've been working hard already. I've been talking with many dairies now, so that we can set up factories inside that dairy, and develop the supply of milk should be ensured. And that way, at least, we are now in Bangalore and Chennai, and we are in talks with many people, mainly in Jaipur, so that we can start in Delhi and Agra in that belt, and also in Mumbai. I would love investors. We have been talking with some of them, right? But I'm not finding a proper dairy till now. Okay. If that clicks, we can start in the western part of India also as soon as possible.
Fantastic. So we are shortly going to see multiple manufacturing sites of 𝗂𝗂𝗍 around the country, and I think if something like a Hyderabadi biryani can be packaged and sent on a flight to US, why not 1 unit Rasgulla going to the US for that mother, for her son or daughter, saying this is the 𝗂𝗂𝗍 Rasgulla from Kolkata.
In fact, what you were saying just now, I recently in Bangalore, we have already tried with frozen products, our frozen products, which have traveled from Calcutta to Bangalore as a test case. Okay. And it has come quite quite easily. So and in good condition. The next step is that if I can send it to London or USA. Right. If that works, at least we can send Bengali sweets outside India in that form also. Not only Rasgulla, but all the other Bengali sweets. And even I've been working on snacks like 𝗷𝗵𝗶𝗺 and 𝗂𝗅𝗍𝗍 and Singara and Chanar Chop. They're also very delicate delicacies of Bengal. Absolutely. Which are very high demand in outside amongst NRIs, rather NRBs, not resident Bengalis. Yes. And we can try out very soon. I can tell you, Dhimanda, for Durga Puja, when we see the stalls giving us the 𝗷𝗵𝗶𝗺s and the kochuris with the aloo dum, I think we all Bengal NRBs, as you call them, are right in queue wanting to eat them. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to give it to this gentleman, Mr. Dhiman Das, the Executive Director of 𝗂𝗂𝗍. Not only is he the 5th generation driving the business of 𝗂𝗂𝗍 forward, but he's looking at the larger landscape of the entire Bengali mishti, mithai, and how to take this across. He's talking in terms of investment. He doesn't talk about competition at all. In fact, he's taking his competitors along with us. He's given us great inputs about how technology plays a role, which all of us need to believe in, how investment is important, and it's a mindset issue that we do not want to have investment. He's used a very apt term about first give before you want to take. I think we all need to give this gentleman a big salute, sir. Dhimanda, thank you very much for sharing all your knowledge. And people who are watching this live or people who watch this YouTube at a later date, I think we owe it to this gentleman for keeping the Bengali mishti
culture alive. Thank you so much, Tara. Thank you.
Thank you so much.